I've titled today's topic, The 7 Estate Planning Mistakes That Could Cost Your Family Everything. And I know that sounds dramatic, but I've seen it, folks. It can cost your family everything. I'll never forget when I opened my Reno office. I was raised in Reno, moved away, and then came back and opened the office in, what was it, 2001, 2004, I guess it was. One of the first new clients that I got was this beautiful little old tiny lady. She was about 80 years old. She came in, literally started crying before she even sat down in my chair. And I said, "My gosh, what's wrong?" And she goes, "We're wiped out." I said, "What do you mean we're wiped out?" And she went on to give me a story that her and her husband were very wealthy, been around Reno for years, multimillionaires, very successful entrepreneurs. And her husband got put into assisted living. And what was supposed to be your typical 1-2 year stay, it drug on for years and years. And she spent every dollar that they had to support him. And they were basically destitute. She was literally living out of a hotel. They had nothing. So they didn't plan properly for long-term care, number one, which is obviously something I'm very passionate about. But they also didn't have an estate plan. And things just began to disappear. And pardon me. And so, when we talk about estate planning mistakes, again, I'm not being dramatic when I say they literally could cost your family everything. They literally can. I mean, I could give you story after story of families that did everything right? They had a trust, or they came close to having a trust. They had everything correct, but then something wasn't right? Something didn't get funded, or the estate got challenged and they lost. I mean, there's thousands and countless of stories, millions of stories. So this is reality, folks. This is reality. And once again, I'll break the misnomer right from the beginning here. Estate planning is not just for the wealthy, right? It is not. I don't care how much money you have. Everybody needs an estate plan. And especially those of you that have children at home, or your grandparents, you have grandchildren. There are so many planning strategies that can be utilized in a solid estate plan to minimize taxes, to protect assets, to do all the things that you want to do. But if you die intestate, meaning without a will, if you die without a trust, etc., you're leaving it up to the courts to make that decision. You've heard that story. I just wanted to kind of start that with that. But let's talk about those of you that do have a trust. Okay? You believe, hey, you know what? I signed the trust. I'm done. Unfortunately, that's not true. After reviewing hundreds, if not thousands, of estate plans over my career, I have discovered the following. So many families have estate planning problems they don't even know exist. It's like that hidden problem that is lurking out there, but they don't even know about it. You see, some have no plan at all. Others have plans that are outdated. I mean, I just restated a trust that was 17 years old the other day. I did one a couple days before that. It was about 13 years old. Did one before that was written in another state. That was like 10 years old. Very, very common problem, right? It's not your fault. Again, you were taught and believe that I have an estate plan, I have a trust, I paid, got it done. That's all I need to do forever until the day I die. But that is not the case anymore. So they have a trust, it's outdated, maybe it's incomplete. Remember, things don't automatically go into your trust. So as I'll discuss here, momentarily, when you buy a major asset, let's say a rental property or another home or something like that, that needs to be put into the trust. Very common problem that I see is someone will, maybe they were, I don't know, in their 40s, 50s, whatever, when they got their trust created. And then time goes on and they decide, they're making more money. They want to buy a rental property. Well, they buy the rental, they put it joint tenants rights or survivorship, even though they had a trust. They forgot to move it into the trust. So guess what? Under that scenario, for those of you that don't know, if they died in that example, that rental property, it's going to probate. Rest of their estate may be fine if they funded it properly, meaning they retitled the assets, the taxable accounts, the checking account, the brokerage account. They moved their home into the trust, so on and so forth. But they left out that rental house. Again, they don't know. But that's what's called an incomplete, improperly funded trust. So it doesn't do what they want it to do. But again, they're sleeping well at night thinking everything is fine. But one unique thing about estate planning is this. The unfortunate reality is that most estate planning mistakes are never discovered until someone dies, or until someone becomes incapacitated, or a family member is forced to step in during a crisis, like happened with me. So when I come back from this break, I'm going to begin discussing the 7 estate planning mistakes that could cost your family everything.